Hi everyone, my name is Nina and I'm your fellow student. I'm also a part of AV, and we really know it's been 2 hard years with all the corona stuff, and everyone has struggled at least with some mental health related issue, be it loneliness or anxiety or lack of social contact. So we decided to launch an I'm OK project where we talk to RWTH counselors on some health related topics. The thing is, we're going to talk in English so everyone could understand. And we start with an introductory video with their counselor Sarah. She told a bit about when you should seek help or how they can help with your everyday issues, or whether it's you're afraid of an exam or you just struggle with some personal things, you always can go there and seek help. And furthermore, we're going to prepare even more videos on some different interesting topics so that hopefully you would be able to find out something new about yourself. And yeah, see you in the next videos, and bye bye. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Sarah Göres. I'm a psychologist at the RWTH, and I am actually originally from Aachen, then went to the Netherlands for my psychology studies, and now I'm back here. And currently I'm also working on my approbation to become a psychotherapist in cognitive behavioral therapy.
Great, and what's your role at the university?
I work at the Student Advice Center Psychological Counseling department. There I work in a team of several psychologists, and we offer psychological counseling sessions as well as groups and study skills workshops. Also, we work on a couple of film projects, including film tutorials regarding studying skills and learning strategies, for example, that you will find online on our website.
What's the difference between counseling and therapy?
To begin with, there definitely is a difference. So therapy is a treatment, meaning that a disorder of clinical significance is treated. Counseling, however, is not a treatment and cannot replace therapy. Counseling rather focuses on problems or issues in daily life, and it's about finding solutions for those problems, as well as giving support in a time of crisis. Counseling is more of a preventative approach, so to say, helping people help themselves. Whereas therapy, we focus rather on healing a previously diagnosed disorder, for example, depression or an anxiety disorder, and therefore therapy is also much more time-consuming and intense than a counseling process is.
When one is eligible to have a counseling session with you?
All students and also doctoral students enrolled at the RWTH are eligible for counseling. So if you are dealing with a problem or some issues, for example, concentration difficulties, a lack of motivation, maybe a challenging breakup, all those things that might impact your studies, you can book an appointment for counseling. Topics can be study related, but they don't have to be, so they can of course also be personal. And sometimes you might just find yourself wanting to talk about a problem or an issue with somebody in a trustful environment and get some professional, objective and also independent opinion on or advice on a specific matter. And then a counseling session might also be very helpful.
Are sessions held online or offline now?
Both. Well, we offer online and telephone counseling, but now it's also possible to come to sessions in person again.
Nice. We figured it out with the counseling, but when one should seek therapy?
If you feel like you cannot really follow your daily routines or pursue your activities as usual because you are suffering from severe symptoms or problems that have impaired the quality of life for a pretty long time, or if you feel like you cannot really go out of there by yourself, then you should consider seeking therapy. However, if you're not really sure whether you might need therapy or this might make sense for you, you can of course first book an appointment with one of the university psychologists, and we will be happy to advise you on that matter. Also, you could seek advice with your general health practitioner at all times. And what is important is that you do not have to worry about anything. Everything is confidential, so everything that you will tell in a counseling session will be treated trustfully and confidential, and we will not make a diagnosis or send you to a therapy institution right away. You don't have to be afraid of anything, and usually it's better if you're struggling to seek for help than to just make everything out on your own, basically.
How can one contact the university psychologist and get an appointment?
You will find us online at the RWTH website under the tab Advice and Assistance. The link will probably also be in the description. And to book an appointment, you just fill in the appointment request form online. If you want to ask us some questions or you have any inquiries, you will also find our telephone numbers and office hours on the same site. Same applies for study skills workshops. If you want to participate, you can find all the information online on the website as well.
Can one get an appointment in English, because not every student speaks German?
Of course. If you want your appointment to be in English, just mention it on the appointment request form. We also offer other languages, but depending on the people in the team, those might vary and change from time to time. Which languages we currently offer, you will find on the appointment request form. They will be mentioned there as well.
If one needs therapy, so does their health insurance cover it in Germany?
Usually they do. However, if you want to seek therapy, it is definitely advisable to contact your health insurance company first before you actually have the first session with your therapist, because it's important that you clarify the covering of costs before you do so. So in order to do that, just call the insurance company. That's the advice that I would like to give you, because not all health insurance packages are the same or cover psychotherapy, and then they could advise you on what you have to do if you want psychotherapy to be covered. Also, there are differences between statutory and private health insurances, so definitely make sure that you clarify this. And once the question of course is resolved, you can start looking for a therapist. You will find some website where you can actually find therapists in the vicinity on our site as well. And we usually recommend contacting as many therapists as possible via email. And beware that sometimes it can be a pretty challenging and also elaborate process to actually look for a therapist. And if you need advice, support, or you're struggling with the search for a therapist, you can of course always ask us and contact us, and we will be happy to assist you with finding a therapist as well.
Okay, that was a really nice talk. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.